It started with a really, really great thought about trying to do a proper celebration of the life and career of Deborah Hill, a producer who was very involved with this guild and a great producer. And we were funding a fellowship for graduating producers out of producing programs. And we were doing this for two ways. We were going to, number one, reward a graduating producer who had ideals similar to Deborah Hill, independent producer type. But we're also trying to stimulate colleges to establish producing programs dedicated to educating producers. So it was a great way to fund that and support education of producers. And the problem is, of course, we are a nonprofit, and we don't receive any residuals to live off of. We live off of voluntary dues. So we needed a way that we could actually fund the Deborah Hill Fellowship to help these graduating producing students on an annual basis. We needed a new refunding kind of system, and the Guild didn't really have a setup for that. And I said, well, where can I go? Well, I went to the person who's like one of my primary assets of our Guild. She's a wonderful member, and she was the head of the events committee. So when I needed things done, she got things done. So I went to Carole Beams to say, hey, can you help us out here and help me raise some money for the Deborah Hill Fellowship? And that's how it happened.
And when Vance came to me with that, I went to 5 or 6 members of the event committee who felt the same way about Deborah Hill that I did. They wanted to be part of creating something in her honor. And we met in Stephen Wolf's production office, and it was actually Stephen who came up with the idea of creating a weekend short film contest. And so we all thought, yes, this is great. We had many sessions figuring out what the format of this, what the concept is, how we were going to work this. Each year we select a specific iconic producer. We get together and we select the settings, themes, and props that have to be included that are drawn from the works of this producer. The person can create whatever story they want. It's up to them. It's totally their imagination. But they have to incorporate these because this is how we tell that it was actually made in this 48-hour time period, which this year is June 27th. It begins. Everybody who entered will be given all the same information at 5 p.m. on Friday, June 27th on the East Coast, 2 p.m. on the West Coast. They have the next, 48 or 50 hours to produce, create, shoot, post, upload their project and be completed on Sunday evening per the rules on the contest. And then we go through the process of reviewing all these wonderful short films.
Well, Cadillac has been a part of Hollywood since its earliest moments, and because of that, we recognize the value of a producer and what they bring to the story and the whole process. Believe it or not, it takes more time to take a movie from development to screen than it does to take a car from development to the showroom.
Wow.
So,
that's amazing.
Yeah. And so to do that, we know that the producer is the one to start everything and the one to see it through. And in order to do that, you have to have passion. You have to be bold. You have to have an unbelievable confidence in what you're bringing to life. And same in the automotive industry. So those are shared values. And at Cadillac, we wanted to celebrate those and then cultivate them. So as we watched as we became a sponsor of the PGA and we watched from the sidelines the film competition, we're obviously a brand that is synonymous with achievement. And so to enable achievement in this film competition was something that was of real interest to us.
In addition to the essence of having Cadillac as a financial sponsor of the Guild, what was also of a special importance to us is they actually brought this creativity to add to the contest. It's especially nice, too. I love the fact that we do pick each year a different, really iconic producer. And this year, when Cadillac is joining with us, we have chosen one of the most brilliant, iconic producers of all time, Saul Zaentz. and his body of work,
Yeah.
it's just, it makes you want to cry, because
Yeah.
the amount of work, and if you look at his films, they're all very individual. They're incredible films.
They're artistic.
Artistic films, and they were all crafted. As Bridget just pointed out to you, it takes a long time. These films, he didn't make a lot of films. He made a few really excellent films.
Yeah.
And what a better way to honor him and his memory, incorporating elements
Yeah.
of it in these contests, because it gets those young producing students
A
to
calling
watch
card.
and
Yeah.
see some of the songs and movies that they may not have seen.
Yeah.
It's
That's
just,
another thought to it. Yeah, it introduces younger generation to the work of iconic producers that they may not be aware of.
And one thing that we've been hearing all weekend at this conference is, if I have an idea and a dream and I want to get my work in front of someone to help me make it, how do I do that? And the answer is go out and make it. Go do it. People said it's hard to take, in this day and age with all the technology, it's hard to take someone seriously that hasn't put the time in and made something. So this is your opportunity, and Cadillac, if you get through phase 1 and are selected to be part of the finalist phase, then you're going to have time, money, experience, mentors, resources that just wouldn't be available in other competitions. So we just feel like this is a great answer to that question of if I have the idea and the dream, what next?
And you have iconic Academy Award-winning judges. You've got Michael Douglas, Kathy Bates, Danny DeVito, Hot Koch, Gary Lucchese, Laurie McCrary.
No other competition is going to have the amount of Oscars won by the people attached to it, or Hollywood stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Yeah.
So that level of experience.
Yeah, it's truly an opportunity.
So one last thing I want to mention. It was funny she mentioned the weekend. I'll actually name the names. We were 2 panels. We had Seth Rogen on a panel. We had very right after that we had David Fincher on a panel, and both of them were asked the same question. Hey, how do I get started? Come on, how did you get started? How can I get started? And to build upon what Bridget said, the response was, you just got to go out and make it. You got to make some small films, and you got to get people to see it. What better opportunity than make your mark to show? Not only you make the film 3-5 minutes, and then you get the best possible audiences. Producers watching and judging, so everyone's going. Everyone's submission is going to get a producer looking at their work. So get the access, and if they're successful at it, to end up as part of a Cadillac commercial in the Oscars, it's too good to be true.
Win-win.
MakeYourMarkCompetition.com.